Hi, good morning everyone. It's Thursday the 29th of April and here I am at Falls Creek at Howlands Gap Alpine Centre, and I really had a wonderfully warm sleep last night, and it's a bit fresh at the moment, but as you can see I haven't got the fire going because when I did arrive in the afternoon at Howlands Gap, I had so much trouble trying to get the fire started in the first place that I don't think I'm even going to go there this morning. So thank goodness for electric heaters. Yesterday was just a wonderful day, very unexpected. I guess some of the successes that I felt I had riding, particularly it was a challenging day from Bright to Falls Creek, and I was very fortunate I had Mark Weir, who's the manager here at Howlands Gap, ride that stage with me, and we started off at Bright and headed off to, you need to go over to Toowoomba Gap first and then down the valley to Mount Beauty, and from the township of Mount Beauty climb to Falls Creek. So I started with all my gear on my bike, and it was a fairly challenging ride. And to give you an example, we were probably about half an hour, or no, probably an hour into our ride. I said to Mark, what's your heart rate at? And he turns around and he says, 116. And I'm like, mine's at like 152. So the challenge was then to try and get Mark's heart rate as well as possible, mine on the polar opposite. But made it to the peak of Toowoomba Gap, and just a magnificent view. The clouds were resting above the township of Mount Beauty, so we had beautiful sun. It was gorgeous morning, and a busload of oldies rocked up, and they pulled into the lookout and were having some photos and a bit of a look. They commented on how lovely Mark's legs were and his Falls Creek kit. It was quite funny. And then as we were pulling away, some ladies were like, that girl has all her gear on her bike. And meanwhile Mark is just on the racer by himself. And so I said, Mark, he needed a bit of a rest, and I thought I'd help him out. And then Mark's comment back was, she lost the bet. So it was quite funny, and enjoyed the descent down to Mount Beauty. At Mount Beauty, thanks to Jane and Jane, Mark's wife, and Ben, where we just pulled up at the house and decided to leave my panniers there for the climb to Falls Creek, because physically I was getting quite pushed to get up to Toowoomba Gap, and I don't think Mark would appreciate me vomiting on the side of the road. And then we actually had quite a bit of media. I had a radio interview just for 5 minutes or so before the 10 o'clock news, and then we had the Win TV crew take a bit of footage and interviews as well. So we don't get free to air up here in Howlands Gap, so we just have to wait to see the footage a bit later. So thanks Jason and Russell from Win TV for their time. Then we had the climb to Falls Creek, and it was just slow and steady. Definitely wasn't Cadell Evans style, but made it up there, and it was wonderful. The scenery was gorgeous. The roads were very quiet too, so it was quite comfortable, and little bits here and there we felt like the weather changed. So there's an Orange Bridge, and from the Orange Bridge up to Hellman's Gap it was quite chilly, which was about, I think, maybe 8 to 10 k's. We made it, so thanks to Mark, it was great to have support and someone who was very familiar with that climb and that stage. Great hospitality from the campsite. The staff here, Beck and Kate and some of the other staff as well, sat down and had dinner, and Phil cooked me up some gluten-free pasta, which was great. Just checking my notes, and yeah, now today I'm off to Omeo, so Mark is once again graciously volunteering to plod along with me, or because it's a descent, we might actually crack the 20 kilometres an hour. And we're heading to Omeo, and yeah, looking forward to the next phase, and hoping that we have a good descent as well. So we'll just see how the weather conditions go this morning, and looking to head off at about 7, but it depends on how many coffees we drink before then. So we'll catch you all at Omeo. Bye.